Our top story today, South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol has been removed from office. The Constitutional Court upheld his impeachment over his decision to impose martial law last year, which caused a political crisis. A new presidential election must be held within 60 days. Until then, Prime Minister Han Duck-soo will serve as the acting president. The court said Yoon violated his duty and called his martial law decree a serious challenge to democracy. It also stated his actions created chaos in South Korea's economy and foreign policy. Let's take a listen in.
법치국가 원리와 민주국가 원리의 기본 원칙들을 위반한 것으로 그 자체로 헌법 질서를 침해하고 민주공화정의 안정성에 심각한 위해를 끼쳤습니다. 재판관 전원의 일치된 의견으로 주문을 선고합니다. 탄핵 사건이므로 선고 시각을 확인하겠습니다. 지금 시각은 오전 11시 22분 대통령 윤석열을 파면한다.
Supporters of Yoon reacted angrily, while anti-Yoon protesters celebrated the ruling. The court rejected Yoon's defense that martial law was necessary and said that it lacked legal justification. Yoon's party has accepted the court's verdict, while opposition leader Lee Jae-myung praised the decision. Acting President Han vowed to ensure a smooth election process after Yoon's removal. Let's listen in to what Han Duck-soo, South Korea's acting president, had to say.
헌정사상 두 번째로 현직 국가 원수의 탄핵이라는 불행한 상황이 발생한 것을 무겁게 생각합니다. 주권자인
In a short statement after the verdict, Yoon said, "I am truly sorry and heartbroken that I was unable to meet your expectations." Meanwhile, let's listen to what Yoon's lawyer had to say about the situation.
결과까지도 전혀 법리적으로 납득할 수 없는 결정이 이루어졌습니다. 완전히 정치적인 결정으로밖에 볼 수 없어서 너무 안타깝고 이것이 21세기 법치주의 대한민국에서 일어날 수 있는 일인가 참담한 심정입니다.
To discuss this further, we are joined by Dr. Sanjay Kumar, journalist at the Korea Herald, located in Seoul, Korea. Thank you very much for joining us. This has been a drawn-out process ever since the imposition of martial law, but we've obviously South Korea is looking particularly polarized right now. What's the general consensus in the capital city of Seoul?
So, well, majority of the people here, they are right now rejoicing the democratic win of the people. So, in a way, we can say that although organization is there, so we can see two groups, but a group with majority is very happy and welcoming the restoration of democracy in such a way, and they are considering it as a democratic win because the constitutional restored, and they are welcoming the constitutional court decision because they have the constitutional court has declared that there had been grave violations of the constitution. So that is one aspect, but on the other hand, of course, it is not a good news for the Yoon supporters. For them it is a big disappointment, huge disappointment, and also for the ruling party, the People Power Party, it is a big disappointment for them because it is very difficult for the new leader from the ruling party to once again go into elections. And we should not forget that within 60 days, like after 10 days, elections will have to be declared, and within 16 days, a new leadership has to be in the center. Yes. So this is not a good news for People Power Party and Yoon supporters. And many political observers are seeing the win of the opposition party leader Lee Jae-myung, who is going to be likely the president, new president. But yes, the political polarization has that still police authorities and security authorities are seeing it very closely, and people are also watching very closely, and they are not ready to have any kind of further escalation in
Yes.
any form. Yeah.
Dr. Kumar, what's next for South Korea and Yoon Suk Yeol? Obviously, you said that an election has to be declared within the next 60 days in South Korea, but obviously Yoon through a criminal trial as well. Will this have any impact coming up?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Of course, it is going well because because of the America first, the Korean companies are also facing a lot of problems, and people also here, they are not very happy about the exchange rate shocks that dollar is giving to Korean won. So these uncertainty is also causing a lot of chaos among many of the Yoon supporters who are trying to use it in the election. So it is not going to be an easy win for the opposition party as well. So we can see it from two aspects. One is the economic insecurity aspect being caused by the Trump's tariff situations, and the other one is the growing relationship of DPRK, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and Russia. So this is also a security aspect that many people here are seeing. So this may impact the election results as well. So although people were not happy about Yoon, but now since these two factors are going to play a key role, and it is going to be used likely by the ruling party and the far right-wing supporters to use it in the elections. Yeah.
Dr. Sanjay Kumar, thank you very much for joining us. We now move on. We now move to our continuous coverage of Trump's new tariffs. The United Kingdom is in talks with the United States to strike an economic deal with British Foreign Minister David Lammy, emphasising that all options are on the table to protect national interests. Here is what he said.
And I regret the return to protectionism for nearly a century. As you know, we are consulting with business and industry at this time. We are engaged in discussions with the United States to strike an economic agreement and an economic, and of course, absolutely clear that all options ensure the interests of the British.
Monnier, a former executive director of the Greater Geneva Bern Area Economic Development Agency, has criticised the United States' reciprocal tariffs, calling them a violation of WTO rules, domestic and global economies. Here is what he said.
Based on the WTO rules, you have to follow the most favored nation principle. It is not the same as reciprocal tariff. On this other thing is that if you have some disagreement, you should not take some unilateral decision. There are mechanisms, and you have to use those mechanisms if you disagree.
This goes on as US President Donald Trump's tariffs have caused chaos in global markets, with stock markets in the US, Europe and Asia plunging in response. The S&P 500 saw its biggest loss since 2020, dropping 4.8%, while the Nasdaq fell 6% and the Dow Jones 4%. Trump remained defiant, insisting that the US economy will come out stronger after these measures. He has claimed that the US is undergoing a massive economic restructuring. Additionally, Minister Shigeru Ishiba called the tariffs a national crisis and said the government is working hard to minimize the impact. He urged a calm-headed approach in negotiations with the US. Ishiba ordered his ministers to closely study the tariffs and consider supporting domestic industries and jobs. Japan's government also expressed serious concerns about comply with international trade agreements. The IMF has cautioned that these tariffs represent a significant risk to the global economic outlook, with possible negative impacts on global trade.